Hi, welcome to All Things Possible TV. I'm Kris, and this is
I'm Bill. I'm with her.
And we are so excited to have you here with us. Today's episode is going to be Love Like There's No Tomorrow. And this is something that's dear to our hearts, and we're going to share a story that kind of got it going for us. We're filming today at our home, a little different view of one of the mountains that we look at all the time. But we wanted to share this with you and talk to you about, are you loving like there's no tomorrow? Before we go into a lot of the depth of what we're going to be talking about today, we want to encourage you, if you have not joined our community, to join our community and be part of us. We put out a new episode and a blog every week for you to get information, and we usually have the blog and the video have some similarities but some differences so that you get information either way you like to get your information. Join us at allthingspossible.biz. Again, that's allthingspossible.biz. We have some free gifts for you there, as well as that you are able to be notified when we come out with another episode. So join us there and subscribe on YouTube. We love to have subscribers join us and be part of our community. So, love like there's no tomorrow. There's probably 100 ways we could go on this, but I'm going to let Bill start with what we experienced just recently at our home and what we had going on.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story about a dying dog, and it's mine. It's something we're going through the middle of, so it's kind of hard to be real chipper and silly during that. But I was given an incredible gift last week. This gift came to me wrapped up in a great big package of heartache, and it was delivered by a very kind and compassionate veterinarian. And my dog, I noticed a tumor growing on her tummy. And this sweet dog I've had for about 7 years now, and she just has the nicest, sweetest personality of any dog I've ever had. Everybody just falls in love with her. But she got this growth on her tummy, and he says, well, it looks like a tumor, and they went ahead and took it out and had it biopsied and cut. It was a great big long scar on her tummy, and we was hoping for the best, knowing that it could be wrong. But he called us to come in and meet with him and said, well, this is a very fast-growing tumor, and you probably have 2 weeks to up to a couple of months left with your dog. And yeah, that's hard to take. And please, this isn't about feel sorry for us because I have a sick dog. We go through these things in life. Here's the gift that I got out of this experience is I noticed the next day how different I was treating my dog. I was spoiling her just a little bit more.
Even that
loving
night
her
after coming home from
well, yes, absolutely. Loving her more, making sure and letting her know how much I appreciate having her in my life, doing what I can to let that dog understand that. And I thought, this is a little bit silly. Of course, yeah, we love our pets, but what about the real relationships in our lives with people? How do we treat the people? Do we take them for granted? Yes, I've always treated my dog good. I take her with me to work every day. She's my companion. But I noticed
that Lake Powell.
Yes.
Her favorite place.
But I noticed I stepped up the game when I realized and knew for certain that I didn't have much time left with her. I thought, wow, what about the people in my life? What about my sweetheart? What about my children? Yeah, my grandchildren? All the relationships, the people I work around. Do I let them know how much I appreciate them, what they really mean to me? Do I just take it for granted that they'll figure it out and that I always have time to say that? And we talked about that and I said, you know what, let's share this message. It was a great gift. It come in pain, but to kind of bring an eye-opener and just a thought to us. How do we appreciate the people around us?
Well, and a lot of people talk about a bucket list. They talk about all these things they want to check off before they die. Things they want to accomplish, places they want to go, things they want to do. And for me, what else do you have on that list? I've never really had a whole bucket list. There's a few things I'd like to do in my life and some things, but I've never really made a bucket list. And yet, for me, it's, what relationships do you want to repair? What things do you want to set straight? How do you want to be remembered? What do you want people to have felt from you? Because they won't remember what you say, they'll remember how they felt, how you made them feel. And I just want to share a little bit of a story with you besides the dog story. But my twin brother actually committed suicide when we were 33. And before he took his life, a couple weeks before that, I'd had a phone call and quite a long conversation with him. But there were a lot of times that went by that we didn't have a lot of phone calls. We were very close, and we have a really close family, so we did quite a bit together on a regular basis. But to actually be like, oh yeah, we talked all the time and stuff, that wasn't really the case. In fact, we had gone on a vacation on a cruise with them on the cruise, and it was something that we really hadn't traveled as married adults and really traveled together. We'd gone camping a few times and stuff together, and we'd gone to, family campouts and family reunions and stuff, but we hadn't done a lot of other things. And so when he all of a sudden died, it was such a shock and so difficult. And within a week or two after that, there was a country band called Diamond Rio that came out with their song, One More Day. And I want to read you some of the lyrics of this song because it's exactly how I felt. And for years, I don't think I made it through the song for 5 years without tears of one more day. What would I do with one more day with my brother? How would I treat that? What would I do? So the song goes like this. Last night I had a crazy dream. A wish was granted just for me. It could be for anything. I didn't ask for money or a mansion in Malibu. I simply wish for one more day with you. And then the chorus goes, one more day, one more time, one more sunset, maybe I'd be satisfied. But then again, I know what it would do. It would leave me wishing still for one more day with you. The next verse is, first thing I'd do is pray for time to crawl. I'd unplug the telephone and keep the TV off. I'd hold you every second, say a million I love yous. That's what I'd do with one more day with you. And it goes back to the chorus and stuff. But it really, for me, the question that I want to ask you is, are you willing to turn off your phone? Because in the year 2000 and 2001, when this was a #1 hit, we really didn't have cell phones.
Well, and you know what? If you went through a situation like that, and somebody that is an important relationship to you, something horrific happened, would you look back through your phone and say, oh look, I sent him a bunch of hearts and smiley faces, or her, I sent them all these hearts and smiley faces, they had to know what I really mean to them.
I texted them.
Yeah, I texted him. Is that enough? And what I can promise you is that, heaven forbid that ever happened, it's not enough. And it isn't, our purpose isn't here to scare you that we need to act like, that they're going to die. But what's the real value? I mean, when you look at it from that context, what is the real value? What really adds value to our relationships? And I think we're fooling ourselves by thinking that smiley faces and hearts are enough.
Well, and truly, love like there's no tomorrow. All of us are going to have a time in our life when tragedy hits. We're going to lose someone in a car accident or an illness, or something is going to happen. And are you prepared for that? Because what I can tell you is I wasn't prepared for when this happened. And even though I felt like we had this conversation, we'd gone on this vacation and this trip, I value that so much, but I know there's so much more I could have done. And ask yourself, do my children leave in the morning knowing that I love them? One of the things that I had a couple of people laugh at me, but my kids were in high school, and there were a couple of times when my kids left and it wasn't all hunky-dory hugs and kisses and loves. It was, why aren't you doing this, and you need to do that, and blah blah blah, right? And I remember dropping everything, going down to the school, checking them out, and just taking them and doing something fun. And they were like, well, why? One of my boys was like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, because when you left for school, it wasn't the way I wanted it to be. And this is more important to me than any math class or anything that you're doing right now. And I just ask you, do a mental check-in with yourself. How are your relationships? Your relationship with your kids, with your parents, with your siblings, with your grandchildren. What could you be doing different?
Do you speak your heart to them? Do you speak your heart, or do you just assume they know it and be embarrassed to say it? And with our boys, you know how boys, especially around their teenage friends, are kind of tough. But they always never had any embarrassment. Say they could be on the phone or even be with their friends, and they'd say, "Bye, see ya, love you, Mom, love you, Dad." And even now,
even
they're
today
grown. They never end a conversation, and we never end a conversation without saying, "I love you." Okay, it can be a simple thing about a grocery list for camping or whatever, but we end the conversation with, "I love you." And heaven forbid that that we ever have those last words, but we don't have to look back and go, "Was I upset with them? Did we end the conversation in frustration?" And we've just made it a family thing that we always end with, "I love you."
Well, and you can take it from children. They're always so honest. A couple weeks ago, our granddaughter, she's 4, was here, and we had our bright yellow Trans Am. It's a 1980 Trans Am, and it was out in the driveway. Most of the time it's in the garage, and she hadn't, I guess, registered that was our car. But she said, "Why is there a race car here?" And we told her, "Well, of course, for Grandpa to give you a ride." And so
do I get to tell this part?
You get to tell this part.
So I just took her for a short ride up the street, and as I pulled out of our driveway and headed up the street, and I was coming up to the corner, and she says, "Grandpa?" And I says, "Yes." And she waited a minute and says, "I love you." It just melted my heart.
It was just so innocent, so tender, and so cute.
But so honest. There's no reservation, right from the heart. And you know what? We'd be a lot happier if we did that in all of our relationships. If we spoke our heart and spoke our love to people around us. That's the essence.
And let people know how you value them. Let them know what they mean to you in your life. We hope that this touches you and that you have a little nudge to do something a little bit different for something or someone, and can make that change in your life.
Even if it's just a puppy or a kitty.
Yep, even if it's just your animals, because we love our animals. Thanks for being here with us. Again, if you haven't joined our community, please join at allthingspossible.biz. Again, allthingspossible.biz.
See, it says it right here.
Everything
right there
is possible for everyone. So all things are possible for you. So join our community and be with us for the next one when we come back. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.